This is me hiking up to the base, the campground. I'm currently in a hailstorm. This was not on the weather radar for today. At least not that I saw. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Cosby Campground in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Hope you're doing well. As always, I really need to make this intro quick today because we got kind of a late start on the day. It's currently 11:07 a.m. Like I said, we are right now in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park for one reason and one reason only. And I do need to make this quick, the intro quick, but this video kind of requires, I think, a little bit of context beforehand. Now that I'm here and now that I've got myself into the situation I've gotten myself into. Oftentimes when you mention the Great Smoky Mountains to avid hikers from the area or to people from all over that come to the park or Appalachia in general, you will quite often hear the names of legacy mountains that come up in conversation, like Mount Mitchell, for example, which has the highest peak in all of Appalachia, or Kauai, which has the highest peak in the Great Smoky Mountains. You'll often hear names like Mount LeConte, which is the third largest peak, Mount Buckley, Mount Love, Mount Chapman, Mount Sequoia, Tri-Corner Knob, Old Black, Big Cataloochee Mountain, or maybe even Big Butt. Big Butt is actually not in the Great Smoky Mountains. I just wanted to throw that in there for comedic relief, but it is a real place and I do want to go there. I'm getting sidetracked here. So anyway, basically our objective today is to summit the very rarely mentioned second highest peak in all of the Great Smoky Mountains and the fourth highest peak in all of Appalachia. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are aiming to reach the summit of Mount Guyot. Now, the reason that Mount Guyot is very rarely mentioned is because it's kind of just forgotten, to be honest. Mostly probably because of its isolation and remoteness, as well as its very difficult and rugged terrain. This particular region of the park is not very touristy and is a very rural area, and it's just, yeah, it's just not visited by many people. So the mountain is named after Swiss geographer Arnold Guyot, who in 1859 conducted an expedition in the area in order to record more accurate elevations than what were previously recorded. After his return, after his expedition, he is quoted saying, "Neither the white man or the Indian hunter venture in this wilderness." In the Wikipedia article, I'll try and put the link in the description, but in the Wikipedia article there's a couple of different quotes from some different people, and all of them that I've read are not very encouraging. Quote, "The Tennesseans seem afraid of the mountains, and the Cherokees of North Carolina equally so. For 2 miles from camp, all traces of man, except surveyors' marks, had disappeared." Quote, "The most rugged and difficult part of the United States, east of Colorado, is in the Sawtooth Mountains between Mount Collins and Mount Guyot. I know but few men who have ever followed this part of the divide." So, there you go. It is right now about 28 degrees outside, and it's going to get warmer a little bit down here, but as you approach higher elevation, obviously, it's only going to get colder. This is a screenshot that I took yesterday of the weather for the upcoming week, and this is the accurate temperature of the top of Mount Guyot. As you can see, I got incredibly lucky today with the low only being 20 degrees, because the rest of the week, it's all 2 degrees, -3 degrees, -7 degrees. I didn't even know it could get that cold down here in the south, ladies and gentlemen. Point is, it's still cold as outside, so this is not going to be easy, but that's okay. That's what I signed up for. Yesterday, the National Weather Service issued a winter weather advisory for 8 different counties, including this one being Cock County, which is effective until tomorrow at 11 a.m. So there's your intro. We really need to get on the move now. It's 11:43. We will see you on the start of the trail. Okay, so this is obviously the start of the trail here. This is the first moment where I'm like really thinking about what I'm doing right now, and I'm starting so late that I really don't know if we're going to complete the objective today or not. From this point forward, the total distance there and back is 18.8 miles. The elevation gain is around 5,300 feet. I don't know what the length in time like it takes to complete the trail, but now that I'm here, I really don't know if we're going to be able to make it. If we do, I'm definitely going to be walking out without light, which is very dangerous obviously, but whatever, we'll try it. These are our first steps onto the trail to attempt to summit Mount Gio. So we may and or may not see you there in a little bit.
I bring myself around.
This is 1 mile in. I've come across this bridge. It's covered in ice. So far, again, I'm only a mile in. So far, it's not been really all that steep. It's actually been pretty flat for the most part. There's a little bit of elevation, but it's not bad yet. We are gonna keep on moving. This bridge situation, this is the bridge here. There's a creek right there. Some animal has left its footprints on the bridge, so that's slightly concerning. I don't know what this is though. Hey man, as long as it's not a bear, we're good. The bridge is just like a solid chunk of ice. And feel free to roast me in the comments section because I absolutely deserve it today. Worst shoe decision that I could have possibly made: to be hiking the second tallest mountain in this park. I'm hiking in tennis shoes right now. Alright, mile 1 is out of the way. We're gonna keep on moving. We'll see you in a little bit.
I'll twist my head around. I'll turn myself around. Talk to a friend I found.
Okay, this is exactly at mile 2. It's 2.02 miles into the trail now, and as you can see, there's a bit of an obstacle being this creek situation. There is no bridge here, and these rocks you can never trust. I'm climbing a mountain. This is a stupid idea. I'm now starting to regret this decision a little bit, to be honest. It doesn't really look that bad. This is not a particularly large creek, but these rocks are obviously covered in ice, as you can see. And if I am to slip and fall on one of these rocks, I am falling into freezing cold water. And this here is running water that you're seeing. But this right here, where it's more stagnant, this is frozen solid. I'm going to really take my time here. I'm going to try and look for another way around this little section here. But I am going to really take my time and cross this very safely. And like I said, just get as far as I possibly can today. I'm going to hate myself if I don't summit the mountain today, but it's not looking good. Okay, I just crossed. It's not actually that bad. The creek I thought looked higher than what it really was, but nevertheless it's still dangerous, because right there it's pretty shallow, but there's kind of a waterfall situation. It's just not. I'm risking having to do that. I'm risking having to cross this though at night, which is not ideal, obviously, because that just adds to the chances of something bad happening. So I have a turnaround time. I've set a turnaround time for myself at 4:30 p.m. So basically what that means is no matter where I'm at on the trail, when the clock hits 4:30, no matter what, I am to turn around. If that means not summiting, then that's what it means. But I think that I need to be at least slightly more cautious of what I'm doing right now. But we will now continue on our journey. That was the 2-mile point back there at the creek. We're now at about 2.15 or something like that. We still have, I don't think we're even, I don't know, man, not even a quarter of the way to the mountain. So I need to like really pick up the pace if I'm trying to get there. We are right now, hold on, let me switch back to my camera. We are right now on Snake Den Mountain. We are not at the top of Snake Den Mountain, but we are approaching it within a couple of miles. You can't really see much because of the fog. I believe this trail crosses over the top of Snake Den Mountain, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue with my journey up there, and we will see you hopefully on Snake Den Mountain momentarily. It's currently 2:32. It feels like I've been in here for 8 hours, and it's only been however long it's been. I don't know, I can't do math right now. There's one little hill around mile 3 where you kind of just look up and question if it's even the trail or not because it's so steep. And shortly after I crossed over that hill, it just like took everything out of me. My hips are killing me, my feet are freezing cold, and it's continuing to get colder. I want to be really clear and just draw the point that this is not like Mount Everest, obviously. There are plenty of other mountains in the world that are much more difficult than this one, not even in the same ballpark. But what I failed to mention in the introduction to this video is that I am not an experienced hiker or mountain climber. I'm not a mountaineer. Besides this trip, I have been on one actual hike in my entire life. So, and that was when I went to Lost Cove with another fellow YouTuber, Ryan Finds Truth. Some of you may have seen that video. And on that trip, on the way out, I did not record any of this, but on the way out of that particular trip, the both of us were just absolutely beaten to hell, and doing it in much better conditions. I remember getting out of the mountain on that particular trip and just, I've never felt that emotion before in my life. I have never been more excited to leave a place in my entire life. And unfortunately, I am beginning to feel the same way right now. I've basically completely lost hope that we're going to summit the mountain that we came to summit today, because I am beaten to hell and I'm not even half of the way there yet. I'm at 4,600 feet-ish elevation right now. I'm still on Snake Den Mountain. I am still not at the top, and with every step that I take, I just end up wanting to turn around and go back home that much more. I'm just really frustrated at the moment. There's a damn tree in the way. We are so close to the top of Snake Den Mountain now. This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. Ow! Ladies and gentlemen, officially welcome to Snake Den Mountain in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's really windy and really cold, and I can't do anymore. I'm freezing. My toes are Absolutely frozen solid. I'm currently at 5,182 feet. That's it. Hey everybody. So this is kind of awkward, but this is now 2 days later. Long story short, did not end up finishing the video there on the mountain. Basically, after that last clip cut out, that's it. It was so windy up there on the top of that mountain that the wind ended up knocking over my camera as I was recording that. Basically, after that clip, I had a full-on meltdown and just like, it was just full rage from there on out. I think I got to the top of the mountain right around my turnaround time, which was 4:30. So I went ahead and started my way back down, and it took way longer coming out than it did to get there. A, because I was already totally at my limit, like my physical limit. B, it seemed like it was just harder in general to go down in elevation than go up. I don't really know how to explain that, but you're basically like fighting against yourself from going too fast downhill, and there were moments where I was like basically running because I couldn't stop myself. I don't know. I did slip and fall a couple times. It was nothing major, thank God. But yeah, this is absolutely one of the stupidest things I have ever done in my life. The riskiest or the scariest part about the entire trip was the last probably 2 miles coming out of the park, because I lost daylight completely, probably with the last 2 miles coming out, and that was really, really bad. When you're in the middle of nowhere in the woods and there are no street lights and you can't see anything. I got through most of it, and then probably at the last half mile my phone died, and that was totally unexpected, so that was just like the cherry on top of it all. I didn't have a flashlight. I didn't have cell service until basically I made it back to my car. The campground was actually closed that day. I had to park in Cosby, which is a town probably 2 miles away from basically the start of the trail itself. Even before I started on the trail, I was already walking for 2 miles, and then once I got out of the woods, I had to go back to Cosby, which was 2 miles back to my car. It was not good. It was very it was really stupid, just to put it as bluntly as possible. If I had not stopped on Snake Den Mountain and tried to summit Mount Gio, I can very confidently say that I would have been in some real trouble, because that basically would have meant that I would be sleeping up there. I would be spending the night up on that mountain, alone by myself with no sleeping bag, no way to keep myself warm, no way for me to call anybody. This video does not really even fit into like what this show is about, so this is kind of an outlier video. I'm not an outdoorsman, so I'll never do that again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I couldn't end the video there, obviously, so I had to like basically close this out somehow. So I did make it out, lesson learned, and yeah, I will never be doing that again. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Stay safe. Alright, goodbye.